Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to review and look at what is an arithmetic series. So generally a series is the sum of the terms in a sequence. So if I look at 5 plus 8 plus 11 plus 14, etc., it's arithmetic because I'm adding 3 to each term, and it's a series because I'm adding all these terms together. So in this case, we're going to look at a way of figuring out the sum of a series without having to just actually add all the terms. But let's write this series out. So the sum here is 5 plus 8 plus 11, I'm going to write out all of the terms. And remembering that I'm adding 3 each time, so here's what we get. Plus 29 plus 32. So looking at this, I can see that I have 10 terms. So I'm going to call this the sum of the first 10 terms. Because in theory for this series, I could just add the first 3 terms, I could add the first 20 terms of this arithmetic sequence. So there's only 10 of them, we could just add them all up. But we want to develop a better way, because if I wanted to have the first 100 terms of the series, I really wouldn't want to do that the long way. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this exact same sum, and we're going to write it in reverse order. So 32 plus 29, and so on, down to the 5. And what we're going to see when we look at this is that this is going to create pairs of terms vertically, all of which have the same sum. So if I add these two together, or these two, or these two, and so on, in each case, I get 37. And that's actually going to be the case for every single one of these. Because that's the sum of both of these sums, it's essentially 2 times the sum we are looking for, because we've added these two together. And because I know there are 10 terms, I know that this is equal to 10 times that 37, or 370. So all I have to do to find the sum I'm looking for is divide the 370 by 2. And that gives me an overall sum of 185. So that is the sum of those 10 terms. So what we're going to do now is we're going to generalize that. So if I have an arithmetic series, what would be a formula for the sum of the first n? So following that same process, the sum of those n terms is t1 plus t2 plus t3, etc., all the way up to tn. Or I can write that exact same sum in reverse order. And what I end up with is, ultimately the same sum. The reason that this is going to keep giving me the exact same sum every time is because to go from t1 to t2, I add d. But to go from tn to tn minus 1, we subtract d. So the overall balance between the two terms stays the same. So what's going to end up happening here is that we end up with n sums, because there are n terms, that are basically just t1 plus tn, the sum of the first term and the last term. And that is 2 times the sum we're looking for. So the general formula for the sum of the first n terms of an arithmetic series is n times t1 plus tn divided by 2. And that will work for every arithmetic series.